Hello and welcome to, I don't know what we call it in the introduction now. Shouting over static, all backed up, I think is what we've agreed on.
Yeah, surely.
Maybe just we'll start referring to it as all backed up in coming episodes. But I think we're gonna tagline it. We're gonna give it a subtitle, all backed up for now. Let us know your thoughts, single listener. We do highly value your opinion. But yeah, that's the kind of comedy you get on this show, Toilet Humour. And we're going to be talking about... we've not got Mark or Chor here, but we've got Jack. I
Hello.
didn't introduce you yet, so...
That's all right.
There you go.
How are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling a bit tired because I ended up staying up a bit late last night playing some Fallout. Good start already. But yeah, I'm pretty good. Enjoyed the rugby over the weekend. So
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's been some good times. Yeah, I feel like we enjoyed it for very different reasons, though. You fucking bastard. But yeah, how are you? How's it? How are things?
Yeah, not too bad. So I guess it was only really, like half a week since we recorded our last one, which was sort of, I guess,
it's been a short gap.
Yeah, it's sort of the unofficial start to our new layout and how we're going to go about doing things on this podcast. But yeah, I've had some time to go through my backlog list that we went through during the last episode, and I've made sort of a conservative effort to try and start playing some games that I've had on my in my Steam library or just downloaded from Xbox Games with Gold and just never got around to playing with them. So yeah, I've got a couple of things to talk about on the show. You obviously said
Nice.
that you've played a bit of Fallout 3.
Yeah, I gave it. I basically just played the starting mission, so I feel like I can drop some early opinions on it. It's got a lot happens in that like leaving the vault mission.
Yeah, from what I can remember from Fallout 3, it starts off relatively fast, and then obviously as you go on, it does drag itself out a little bit, as with those types of games.
Yeah, they always do, don't they? I mean, I thought it was quite a sort of, I don't know the kind of word I'm looking for. I guess because it's old, it feels silly to say it as it is, but like it was quite a ingenious intro. Like you start off, I guess it's like a montage through your life. So I feel like most people have played Fallout 3. I'm really at least people who listen to our kind of shows.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really behind the times here on this one, so everyone will know. But for anybody who's like me,
Have you never actually played it before then?
not at all, not even a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Well, now I have played it a little bit.
Okay.
I barely ever even seen anything from it, like maybe clips in YouTubers stuff, but I didn't really watch anything about Fallout 3 either because...
Oh, okay.
Don't
I mean,
care.
I guess just from my point of view, it will make it interesting to see how you get to grips with the game, and as you go on through it, how you
Yeah.
get to grips with all of the different mechanics in it. So
Well, so far I'm stressed out to all fuck because you got to put all your stats places, but the
Yeah.
GOAT thing you do at the beginning, the generalized occupational aptitude test or whatever it's called,
yeah.
which obviously sort of predetermines where your points go. And you can change that, which is fine. You can really run it however you want. But I kind of felt, well, I answered those questions, I feel, how I wanted to answer them for the game, so I should leave them as is. But I've ended up with like science, medicine, and what was the other one? I think it was speech or something. So I'm definitely not optimized for murder. And I do like a little bit of game murder. I demonstrated that readily in the opening segment because I killed everybody. I saw a guard that I could have snuck past and I shot him in the head, and then I felt quite bad because I remembered I've been living with these people for like 16 years
Oh man.
and I just straight up murdered him. And spoilers for the opening section if anybody listening hasn't played it, I also killed that girl's dad.
What?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
You know Amata?
Yeah, yeah.
and the overseer was being a dick, and he started attacking me. So I beat him to death with a baseball bat. She was very upset with me. She did not leave the vault.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know if she's meant to leave the vault. I have no idea how else that whole sequence is meant to play out, but she was upset. I also accidentally told the tunnel snakes that she's self-conscious about her weight, so she already didn't like me. It was a roller coaster.
God damn.
So, my character is apparently an emotionless science nerd.
Damn.
I appreciate. I'm just playing Sheldon in the Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's been like I would say a good couple of years since I last played Fallout 3. But yeah, I mean,
did you ever play Fallout 4?
I played a bit of Fallout 4. I never really got into Fallout 4 as much as I would have liked to. I guess maybe it's one of those ones that I go back and revisit. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely feel like in terms of all of the Fallout games, certainly for me, Fallout 3 is the one that I connected with the most.
Yeah, I feel like that's quite. What am I looking for? That seems to be quite a common thing, right? Fallout's because Fallout 1 and 2 are weird isometric RPGs. They're nothing like Fallout 3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just such a fucking smash. I remember in high school when people were playing that game. This is that kind of game it is. It's been in my backlog since high school.
Yeah.
And if our singular listener is American, that is slightly longer than in America.
Yeah.
That's an extra 2 years. This was pre-sick form as well.
I mean, it got released in 2008, so literally 11 years ago, maybe just over 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how you get on with it as you progress through it. I just remember one of the first times that I played through it, getting to the first town after you're out of the vault, and I always used to be, I guess, the same with any of those sort of open world games where your actions in the environment actually affect how the other people in the environment look at you. So if you're in Skyrim, if you start attacking just like the guards in Whiterun, they'll start, every time they see you, they'll just be like, nah, you're not allowed back here, that sort of thing. And it's I think in the first town that you get to in Fallout 3, I can't quite remember the name of it, but there's a two-headed cow, and I think the first thing that I did when I got there was just hit the two-headed cow, because why not, right?
Sure.
And yeah, then the entirety of that city just hated me for the rest of the game, and I couldn't go back there, and obviously it being one of the major cities that you get to first, you can't really do anything about it.
Nice, good job.
But I guess that's...
You really fucked that.
Yeah, that's really just I guess it's just me, it's not really the game's fault.
No. But, who doesn't want to punch two-headed cow? I've not played much of Fallout 3 so far, so there's not really much else I can say. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that opening sequence. I thought the way that you get your points and sort of they test you to see how you're going to play the game kind of feel. So I think it's pretty accurate that I would get those points. I don't necessarily want to play a game completely modeled after my real life self, but whatever. That's how they decided to go with this game. So I thought that was all quite fun. I thought it was a fun beginning.
Yeah.
And quite clever. But other than that, I stepped out the vault and was daunted by the desert wasteland and promptly turned it off. Not actually because I wanted to stop it. It was just very late. But so I've not really got much else to say about Fallout 3, but from what I hear, you've been playing quite a bit of Dishonored, right?
Yeah, so Dishonored, I think, was one of those games that I picked up in a Steam sale whilst we were at uni. And it was back on when I didn't have my current PC. I had a laptop, and it wasn't the best laptop in the world. And I hadn't actually checked whether or not I could run it on the laptop. And I think I installed it on the laptop, and I played it for a bit, but it was not running with the best frame rate, and it just didn't feel like I'd get the most enjoyment out of it playing it like that. So I sort of just neglected it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and never really got around to playing it because, as video games are nowadays, you get a game that comes out literally maybe every couple of months that you want to sit down and play. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just never gave it the time and attention that it perhaps deserved. So I guess I stuck that at the top of my list after the episode during last week. So I made a conservative effort to get it installed onto my PC. And yeah, I've played, I think, maybe about 2 hours of it so far. So I've done a couple of the first missions, and obviously all of like the side objectives that you get given as well. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, I guess for the listeners who don't or perhaps haven't played Dishonored, Dishonored is it's a stealth action game, I suppose. Was released in 2012. And it was developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. So I guess just a bit of background about the game. So you assume the role of I guess, so at the start of the game, you're a bodyguard to the Empress called Corvo Atano, and basically what happens is you go and see the Empress, and then there's some assassins who come along and basically frame you for the murder of the Empress, and they kidnap the little girl called Emily, I believe is the Empress's daughter.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically you get framed for the murder of the Empress, and obviously you're the bodyguard of the Empress, so everyone immediately assumes it's you. And yeah, then basically the rest of the story, as I gather, is you essentially become an assassin, and you are hunting down the people who framed you. And yeah. So like I said, I mean, so far I'm enjoying it. I did the first mission where you have to kill the one of the High Overseers.
Yeah.
And again, I just feel like that the way that the game is set out, I very much enjoy how open it is and how there are so many different ways to approach any one situation.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, they give you an area to play in and some things to play with, and then just let you go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess like the best way to describe that is in that first mission where you actually finally get to the big I guess you get to that big building where the High Overseer is going to be, and immediately the first thing that I did when I got to that level was try to figure out, okay, so where is this guy and how is the best way to get to him? And immediately I looked up and I saw a ledge, and obviously you get your different powers that you can have, and one of them is that what's it? It's called blinking. Yeah, so you can blink forward, and you basically teleport forward to a spot. And I teleported up to a ledge and just literally missed everyone who was on the ground outside of the building, and just went up to the top of the ledge and just snuck into the building through the windows.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't really have to worry about anything going on the ground, which is,
I mean, yeah, that's one of the big parts I think of Dishonored, is that if you want to, you can play it without ever being seen by another character and without ever killing anybody. You can get through that entire game without interacting with anybody other than the targets.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think is incredible. And I mean, you've sort of semi-discovered with your initial usage of Blink. So it's the High Overseer one, if I'm remembering right. Is that the one where when you do kill him, he's in a boardroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you kill him?
So I poisoned both of them.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there's all these different things you can do, isn't it? Yeah, because you can poison both of them, or you can switch the glasses so that only he gets poisoned and stuff like that.
I think that's what it is. You get 3 options. You can just leave it as the first option where it's just the poison goes to the High Overseer, or you can switch it, or you can poison them both. And I just, I was like, no witnesses, poison them both. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, you can also just fucking shoot them both.
Yeah, I suppose you could do that as well.
That's part of it as well, isn't it? You can just do whatever you want at these points. You could just run down and stab him, but you're more at risk then, I guess. But yeah, so there's I think that's a really cool part of Dishonored, is that there's sort of these scripted ways you can do certain things, but you're never made to do them, and there's not really any correct answer. There probably are certain ways that they, I don't know, I don't even know actually. There's not really any specific model for each level. It's just here's a bunch of different things you can do. any of them are fine.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, I think one of the side missions very early on is you speak to this character called Granny Rags, and she has
Oh,
you.
that's so good.
She has you go off and do some like a multiple of different side missions during that first little bit, and one of them I think is to poison the elixir, uh, uh like the place where they make all of this elixir, and you can go there and you can either choose to poison it or just leave it alone and just get the elixir and just say that you've done it. And
Yeah.
but later on in the game, or I guess soon after, as you've done more and more missions, you get invited to go and see these guys who, I guess I can't remember what they're called, but they're like a part of a street gang, and you get invited to go and see them because they want you to investigate who has poisoned the elixir thing. And so obviously I
Yeah.
chose to poison it, and now I'm sort of getting myself embroiled with this gang, and I'm the person who's actually poisoned their elixir manufacturing thing. So I'm just there like, you want me to find out who poisoned it, but it was me. I was the one that poisoned it. Sorry, guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely interesting. I mean, I guess the one thing that I still don't get at the moment is, or I sort of understand it. I don't. I I understand it a bit, but I don't completely understand why it's in the game. Are the rats?
Ah, okay. So the rats are meant to be. There's like a plague, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So lots of people are quite ill. You get I can't remember what they're called, but you get certain, I guess, almost enemies that are literally just sort of plagued
I think they're
people.
called like weepers or something. I think.
Yeah, that's the one. So there's this plague going around, and essentially the rats are the carriers of the plague. But a really cool element to the game is that the more people you kill and the more chaos you cause, the more rats there are.
Ah, okay.
And so then there's certain powers you can use the rats for. So you can like summon. There's one that's I think is summon rats. Obviously, also if you do like possession, you can take over a rat,
Yeah,
stuff like that. But if you do summon rats, like you can get them to eat enemies and kill enemies for you, and then there's no body and stuff like that. And obviously, so there's advantages to the rats that way, but also the rats are dangerous to you too. So you've got that sort of balance of, do you just fucking kill everybody and then use rats to your advantage because you're the fucking plague and murder town, baby, and kind of risk yourself, or do you go the super safe route, don't let any rats appear, don't kill anybody? So it's kind of a measure of how evil you're not. Yeah, we're not. I guess kind of evil. It's kind of a measure of how evil you're being.
okay. Because I mean, like the first time I saw the rats, I saw them, just killing a random body on the ground, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe like the rats will help me out. And then I walked relatively close to a group of rats, and they started attacking me, and I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, they're just like vicious little rat
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, exactly. Like they're not really on anyone's side. I mean, I guess as you say, you can use them to your advantage in some situations. I did find myself, if I did get spotted and there was a group of rats nearby, I would try my best to eliminate all the enemies that had seen me, and then just throw them throw their bodies in a pile by the rats and just have them eat all of the bodies. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I guess it just adds another, like you say, just a different aspect as to how you can go about completing different levels in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an extra because there's lots of routes through lots of the levels where you can just possess something and go through like a vent
Yeah.
or a hole in a. I think there's one bit where you can possess a fish and swim into the thing. That might actually be Dishonored too.
Oh, brilliant.
But, yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's just part of that. I think the rats are a big part of sort of creating the Dishonored world, and I think it's quite cool.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly need to work on my stealth. But I mean, I guess basically because I'll go into I'll get into a mission, and then there'll be a group of dudes in an alleyway or whatever, and then I'll try to take one of them out silently, and immediately another guy will turn around and just see me walking away carrying his body over my shoulder. So it's stuff like that. It's not so much like being stealthy in terms of killing people, it's just not being spotted by other people who are around.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the one thing that I need to improve on. But as I say, I'm really only a couple of missions into it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it at the moment. Yeah, hopefully hopefully I'll be able to get through some more of it this week. I have been playing some other games at the same time as well, sort of simultaneously, just trying to catch up with things. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying Dishonored. And I guess in some ways I'm sort of disappointed that it's taken me I guess 3 or 4 years or whatever it has been since I actually bought it to actually sit down and play it. So.
Oh yeah, but I am jealous that you get to play it for a first time. So you have that advantage. It's a fun experience. Yeah, I mean we've without Shaw and Mark to sort of support our discussion of our video games, we've not really had enough time to really delve into either of our lists. So there's not much we can. I feel like we've both gone through. Well, you've had your early opinions of Dishonored. I've had my very early opinion of Fallout 3.
Yeah.
But there was some. I feel like we're not too out of the way to talk about events going on in gaming in this show as well. And there's one that I really care about. I think I told you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
So on Friday, someone posted. I say someone. I should really have looked up his name, but I haven't. Fuck. I feel like a dick now. Some guy on YouTube. I'll see if I can find him when I'm talking about this.
Is that Rod Breslau? Is it that?
Maybe that's the one that they mentioned in Kotaku, isn't it? But I didn't see his. I think he was the I think it's like the Quarterer or something.
That video, yeah.
So this guy essentially got some inside sources, and I imagine so did Kotaku and all this lot, but discussed, he's the one who dropped it, it seems, hints towards a new game coming out, being dropped on Monday by a AAA developer, and on Saturday there would be, the leak was on Friday or whatever, but part of this leak was that on Saturday there would start being discussion by streamers that a new Battle Royale game was coming.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't mention what. And then on Sunday or Monday, they would then announce it, and the idea was that it would immediately be able to play and free to play. And the belief is, the sources say that this Battle Royale game is going to be a Titanfall Battle Royale game, but not in. I think it's a little bit complicated in that it's a Battle Royale game. They describe it as sort of a mix between Call of Duty's Blackout and Overwatch. So it's a hero Battle Royale game, which is a bit strange, but set in the Titanfall universe. So it's it's kind of Titanfall.
Yeah.
But doesn't have Titans in it.
Which is the one thing that, I guess, I guess you could speak about it a bit more, being the avid Titanfall fan that you are. I just, calling it, I guess, I suppose it wouldn't be a Titanfall game without actual Titans, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
it just feels weird.
So I get it, because a Battle Royale with Titans in it would be really difficult to balance.
Oh yeah, 100%. But
it's strange, isn't it? I'm really not sure what to think. I'll play it because if it's going to be free. So if these rumors are true, but I mean, everywhere is reporting it now.
Yeah.
And Jason Schreier on Titanfall, who we've mentioned a lot on this show because he seems to churn out articles like a machine. He's the one who posted it on Kotaku, so I feel like I kind of trust that. I don't know.
I mean,
so
it says that it's gonna have you can play it solo, or you can go into teams of 3 versus 3.
Yeah, so I guess that's similar to.
Is the solo, if it's a battle royale, what's the player limit in solo? If they're only doing 3v3 or I get maybe it's 3v3 in terms of I don't know, it might be 30 players. And 10 teams?
No, 3v3. Or... It's not 3v3. It's 3 teams, but there's 60 players. So, teams of 3.
Oh, okay.
But 60 players.
I misread that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean,
at least that's what I'd read.
That makes a bit more sense, I guess.
Yeah, I think the weirdest part for me is the the video I watched that was first the thing, said there would be a sort of heroes kind of thing, but in like a Rainbow Six Siege way. So it would be like an operators kind of situation. So you could like balance each other, and each one has an ability. But Jason Schreier's one, I think, is the one I saw this in, suggests that each hero will have like supernatural abilities.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have supernatural MOBA-like hero abilities, which now it starts to feel like, how is this in the Titanfall universe? Because it's official. Like the idea is that it's going to be an official in-universe game, like canon.
Yeah.
So like I don't know how a battle royale could be canon. So maybe it's in-universe but kind of separate, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense, right? But especially with heroes. But like, how can it be supernatural? There's like time travel and all this nonsense in Titanfall, but it's all like science based and kind of believable. It's not over the top, completely out of touch science. Obviously, it's not realistic, but it's kind of, they do it in a way that's like, yeah, this is science.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know how they're going to introduce supernatural powers.
Maybe, I guess perhaps they could. So we're assuming that there is a Titanfall 3 in the works.
So this is a big part of the discussion around this game.
Yeah.
And this is part of what Jason Schreier had said, that Titanfall 3, I think people apparently believed would be coming out at the end of, and Respawn apparently believed would be coming out at the end of 2018. And they say here it was because the source engine that it runs on is getting quite old, so if the game comes out any later, it'll be a little bit outdated. Which makes sense, because, I mean, Titanfall 2 looked great, but it was sort of starting to get on the, I think, pushing the limits of what they could do.
Yeah.
But the suggestion is that this game is either what Titanfall 3 became, which I would fucking hate, or is just like a stopgap. They're just using it because it's like Titanfall 3 is actually going to take a while longer.
Yeah, I mean that's what you'd hope, right? You'd hope that somehow in Titanfall 3 they, if they're going to introduce, I don't know, these supernatural powers or whatever into this game, you sort of hope that they, or I guess they have to somehow work that into Titanfall 3 and how that works, right?
I mean, I guess they could avoid it because I imagine it won't be supernatural. I imagine that's just a misunderstanding of the word for us. In that supernatural, yeah, they're extreme, but it'll probably be technologically based, right? It'll probably just be pilots with a certain ability.
Yeah.
Because you had like cloaked pilots, all this kind of stuff. So I assume it'll be something like that. And the suggestion from the name Apex Legends, I imagine it'll be sort of faction based. So yeah, maybe it's these characters that could maybe show up in Titanfall 3 or be mentioned, or like heroes or whatever. But I don't know if they'd include them. I think the idea with the fact that it's just a in-between for Titanfall 3 is that if they're building a new engine or using a new engine, it's just going to take a lot longer.
Yeah.
And they don't want people feeling... Because it's already been nearly 3 years. It's been 2 years, like 2.5 years, right, since Titanfall 2 came out. 2 and a bit. When did it come out? Actually, no, 2 and a few months, because it came out in November, right?
Yeah.
I think. So anyway, it's at least 2 years. So it's like at the point where the gap's quite large now. I tried to play Titanfall 2 the other day, and there was nobody on it.
What? Okay.
Like, there was a few, but it just didn't put me in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's changed a little bit recently because of all this stuff. They've been getting streamers involved with Titanfall, and there's been more people playing it, and it's been more active again, I think. And I think that's been sort of a concerted effort from them to reignite the Titanfall hype train.
Yeah.
So I think there's maybe some people in there now, but when I tried to play, there was nobody, which sucked because I fucking love Titanfall and I haven't played it in a while.
Oh, man.
So I'd kind of... If Titanfall 3 has been pushed back, then I understand as like a stopgap. Still something in that world. But I feel almost like they're just tacking the name on for brand recognition, because obviously I've not played it yet, so I don't know. It might feel very Titanfall-y, but if there's no Titans and if there's heroes, I'm guessing you're not really a pilot.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's how they sort of had it in Titanfall. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of have it already in Titanfall 1 and 2. You have like your AWOL pilot or your grappling or stim or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they all still very much feel like pilots, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if will the heroes still have that if they've got like these quote unquote supernatural abilities, or will there be like more variation?
I guess the one thing that you pointed out as well is microtransactions and the stuff that they said about that as well.
Yeah, that's true. Like, at least it's free to play. So I mean, if you really end up liking it, you can buy stuff. But Titanfall 2 had such a good. The DLC's all free, and the microtransactions are purely cosmetic. But it sounds like there's going to be some element of in-game currency that you can buy, and then that in-game currency you use to buy advantages.
Yeah.
And the quote from the like inside source had said that it should be relatively easy to come by in-game. You don't have to buy it, but it still gives the people who buy it an advantage.
Yeah, of course it does.
You just get, and it's kind of like Titanfall 2, I think, made quite a lot of money from the cosmetic sales, and it's just like, just stick with that. Fallout does it. Not Fallout. Fucking hell, I'm failing my words. I even struggle to say that then. Fortnite manages it, don't they? I mean, that's all cosmetic.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand why they'd introduce loot boxes, which is the suggestion they might have done, or anything like that. That seems stupid, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's said that it's due to release tomorrow on Monday at the time of recording. So I guess we'll see if it does drop tomorrow. Then yeah, we might have to play some of that Apex Legends and see what we think of it and see if it is actually worth getting into.
Yeah,
I suppose I mean, we've been talking for about half an hour now, but I guess we're going to be wanting to wrap up soon. But there's one other bit of news, tiny bit of news. You mentioned Fortnite, so there.
I wanted to speak about this too.
So there was a live concert. I think it was yesterday night. I think.
Yeah.
In Fortnite, and so basically Marshmello, who is a EDM producer, he basically did a live concert within a video game. And I mean, so he sort of became a thing first with the video game when I think it was like when they did that 100-player or the 50-player duo match, and it was Marshmello and Ninja who were doing it. I think it was like the Fortnite Pro-Am, I think they called it, and he won it with Ninja, and then he sort of became recognized within Fortnite, and they released I think a few days ago they released his outfit that he wears when he's on stage as a cosmetic skin, and then it got announced that he would be doing a live show in Fortnite. And I mean, I guess I've never played Fortnite. I just think that just having someone doing a live set within a video game is just future as fuck.
It's fucking brilliant, isn't it? It's such a ridiculous event, and I love it.
Like,
I think it's so. Yeah. It's just such a like. I think this is maybe the wrong word. It feels almost wholesome that they thought, yeah, let's put a fucking concert in Fortnite. I really appreciate the big events that Fortnite does,
and I think what's good about it as well is they disabled any kind of like weapons or anything like that, or just for that, like I think it was only for like 10 minutes, but they disabled all of the weapons for 10 minutes so that everyone could enjoy the event, which I think is great. But man, it's just fucking what the fuck. Like, I still can't get my head around the fact that you've got like an actual well-known DJ doing a live set in a fucking video game. Like, for me, it's just fucking mad.
Yeah, it's It's brilliant. I like the fact they turned off weapons as well, because otherwise it would have just ended up like that rocket launch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think they probably looked back at. I think they probably looked back at the at that event and then was like, well, wait a minute, we should probably turn off all of the weapons or everyone's ability to use weapons during this, because otherwise it could just get really fucking nasty.
Yeah, there's always going to be someone who tries to ruin it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was just a nice little piece of news that I thought was great.
Yeah.
Just it seems such an obvious thing as well for Fortnite, like the progression of what they've been doing in Fortnite. They've had these big events where people all come together and watch it. So to put a music concert in it with a musician familiar to the game, I think it's kind of lovely. As terrible as the Fortnite community could be, because it's just filled with children, I really do think that Epic Games are, I don't know, they fucking nail it. They support the game so much, and they do these kind of things, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, like I think, I guess Fortnite really started from humble beginnings as being this game that you'd play and you'd pay for, and it would be this single player thing where it was you and a group of your mates trying to build forts to defend against incoming waves of zombie attacks. And I feel like it sort of just spiraled from there. They released the Battle Royale mode and they let it be free to play, and it's just got such a fantastic following now. And I mean, as you say, sometimes I guess not so much I guess it's really the well-known people who play it. Sometimes they can be a bit pretentious, I guess. But yeah, I feel like what Fortnite and what Epic are doing with just riding the success of Fortnite, I think it's absolutely fantastic that they're putting stuff like this in the game. And I guess at times bringing a semi-toxic community together is always a good thing. So
yeah, true. I think it can make it provides a sort of wholesomeness to something that's otherwise quite bad, and I think that can maybe improve the community somewhat. But I think it'll be strange to see where it's going.
What I'd like to see is the amount of money that Fortnite made from like microtransactions on people trying to buy the marshmallow outfit to be involved with this event, because I'd hazard a guess that it's not a small amount.
Yeah, I bet it's tons, because kids will buy anything.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that links to this Fortnite stuff, I don't know, I think I've mentioned it on the show before. Have you seen all this Jablinski Games stuff?
I've not.
So it's Jack Black's video game.
Okay, yes, YouTube. Okay.
And he started off just playing some like arcade games,
yeah,
and retro games. And the running joke on Reddit has been that people think he's just not going to play any games, like any sort of modding game. It's not really going to be a gaming channel. And finally, he uploaded one this last Friday called "We're Finally Gaming," and he's sat there, his face is in the corner, playing Fortnite. And then it starts to get a bit weird. It's like he starts playing one-handed and stuff like this, and then he just loses it and tears down a green screen that they've put up. So they've not edited his face into the corner. They've filmed him on a green screen, put Fortnite on the green screen in such a way that it looks like he's just in a box in the corner, and he tears it down and they lose it. And then he just plays this old like retro games console called a Vectrex.
Brilliant.
And so he's still not playing mod, and I think it's possibly my favorite thing in games at the moment.
I love it.
Is Jack Black's YouTube channel.
Because I saw that like he posted one video and like a few days later had a million subscribers instantly.
Yeah,
which I think was I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good YouTube channel. He's very entertaining, so I'd highly recommend anybody to go watch that. But I think since there's only the two of us and we're keeping it, we've actually managed to talk for 40 minutes, which I'm impressed by.
Oh man.
But I think we should call it there.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything particularly pressing you want to tell the world.
No. I'm almost at the end of Wildlands. I guess that's like a different game that I've got on my. It's not really a backlog game. It's just one of those ones that
That's just a game you play. Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Well, it's in my backlog in a sense that I want to finish it and just see what the ending's like.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like unofficially there, but it's a game that I fall back on if I get like annoyed or bored with Dishonored at the moment. So
Yeah. I think that's important. I'm kind of trying to do the same. If I get bored of a particular game, I can something quick to drop in and out
yeah.
of. Yeah. Well, how do I finish this? That's been all backed up. Episode 1, slightly strange, since there's only 2 of us. But at least we did play some games. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, man.
Actually.
Yeah,
we both played a bit of our backlog.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't tons, we did it.
Let's go.
We had less time as well. This is all backed up, being taken to the fucking extremes, baby. It's time. You can find us, I'm assuming we're going to be uploading these in the same place. So you can find us on iTunes and SoundCloud under Shouting Over Static. They'll probably be subtitled or backed up. If you only want to listen to that, we'll look into creating playlists or whatever. You can also find us on YouTube at Low Expectations Media. Again, we'll just, you know the name. Maybe Chor will finally start being an active social media
God
manager.
damn it! Like we got notifications on our Facebook page for Shouting Over Static.
That it was going to shut down.
Yeah, saying that it was going to stop. So damn it, Chor.
Did he actually even do anything about that?
I don't know. I assumed he had. I mean, I haven't had like a notification since. So for all I know, it could have been taken down.
Yeah, the last thing Chor published was the 16th of August.
Oh, man.
And it was when we spoke about Doom Eternal gameplay. So this was, I guess, E3 time.
Yeah, it would have been just after E3 when we were all going through our, like, post-E3 hangover.
Nice. Good job, us. That's not entirely on Chor. We're also he was away for quite a while. I think 16th of August was that last time he actually recorded with us for quite a while.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You can find us in those places. I've been Dylan, and you've been Jack.
Yep. Bye.
Say bye, Jack. And yeah, we'll hopefully speak to you all next week with some more gaming experience.